Hi, Holly.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Cassie. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Come
Thanks
on
so
in.
much.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Excited to see some homes.
Well, great. It's nice to meet you. Well, we'll go ahead and tour this home. What attracted to you this home?
Well, we're obviously expanding our family. and
Okay,
so
congratulations.
needing, more space. We love the neighborhood and thought, this could be a nice place and school district. But, we're newer to home searching, so kind of just starting out and
Great.
wanting
Yep.
to see different types of homes.
Yep. So first-time home buyer?
Yes.
First-time home buyer.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, part of what I love to do as an agent is really educate my clients, right? You don't know what you don't know,
Yeah.
and buying a house is a huge process. So
Yeah.
as we're going through this, I'm just kind of explaining a little bit about how things work while we're looking at the house, and then when we leave, we'll discuss next steps. Sound
Awesome.
good?
Sounds great.
All right. Have you been working with a lender yet?
Yes, we've spoken with someone, but we're not fully pre-approved yet.
Not fully pre-approved?
Right.
Okay, where are you at in that process?
So we've submitted our W-2s and everything like that, but just haven't got the full pre-approval.
Okay.
yet.
Well, I also have some great resources for lenders as well. Not all lenders are created equal,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
They pretend that they are, but a few things, you want a lender that's going to be available evenings and weekends, because that's a lot of times when we're out showing homes, and
Right.
it's important that you can reach them if we need to last minute. But also fees and interest rates and things can differ from lender to lender. It won't matter to me who you use. And in fact, throughout this entire process, I'm going to have recommendations for you on lenders, inspectors, contractors, and I just want you to know that I do not get any kind of financial gain from the recommendations that I give you. That's actually illegal. Any recommendation I give you is going to be because I trust these people. I've worked with them in the past, and I know that they do a good job.
Great.
Okay, so just some
Awesome.
of that. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what the specifics are that you're looking for in a home.
Yeah, for sure. We'd like at least 4 bedrooms and at least 2 baths. The fenced-in yard is kind of a necessity, as we have 2 little dogs.
Okay.
So
Would you be open to fencing in a backyard if it was the right home?
absolutely, if
Okay.
it was the right property, we'd be open to that.
Great. What do you think of this split entry style home? Like,
Yeah.
are you open to all different styles of home, or is this something you're particularly looking for, not looking for? Tell me a little bit about your kind of needs and wants.
Yeah, so I think we'd be open to it. Obviously, we'd love something where you walk in, we don't have to haul groceries up the stairs, but we'd be open to it. Obviously, we're not super picky, but want to make sure it works for our family in regards to space and bedrooms.
Right, and this has a nice big entryway. Not all splits are designed that way, so it's nice that this kind of has the entryway that
Absolutely.
you can bring in and haul all those things. So side note, when you're walking up the stairs, obviously we're in the living room. Things that I, as the agent, would point out with my buyer is condition of windows. So for example, Holly,
Yep.
the windows on this home are newer. They're the vinyl casing, so that's a plus.
Nice.
You're not going to have to worry about rotting windows or the need to replace those soon. Flooring looks to be in good shape. I don't have a lot of concerns here.
Okay.
And then into the dining room. This is a nice sized dining room. Would fit a decent sized kitchen table.
Absolutely.
I love this little feature, especially with your growing family. You'll be able to cook
Absolutely.
in the kitchen and watch out here if
Yep.
the baby is watching TV or out here with their toys.
Yep.
Again, windows are new throughout, so that's a plus. That's a major expense,
Yeah.
especially as a first-time home buyer. It's not something you'd probably want to move into a house
No, that'd
and
be tough.
have to replace. So those are kind of things that you're wanting to watch for when we're looking at homes.
Great.
Coming into the kitchen, nice sized kitchen, and they have a door, obviously, out into the backyard. I love this.
Oh, perfect. Perfect for the dogs.
Yeah. So yard looks like it could be needing some mowing, but I don't know if you've heard it's no mow May.
Yep.
To try for the bees, so don't let that discourage you. I don't think it's an indication of how they're taking care of their yard. What do you feel about this kitchen, the space, the layout?
I think it's nice. I mean, obviously a little bit dated,
Yep.
but totally manageable and big. And I love that you could do a little table in here. And
Right. And, though maybe a little dated, I think it's in pretty good condition. It was well cared for. This is definitely something you could pick away at over
Absolutely.
time. Get some new appliances. If you get new knobs or paint the cupboards, that can freshen it up
Yeah.
as well.
Great.
But this is also a good indication of what you're getting at this price point,
Yeah.
right? It's really hard for buyers to understand what you're really getting at your price point. Have you done a lot of that conversation with your lender about your price point? Because one thing I like to point out to people when you're going through this process is you may be approved for a certain amount, but that's really irrelevant,
Yep.
right? You could be approved for way more than you're actually wanting to spend. On the flip side, you could be approved for less than you think that you know, but focus on your payment and where you want your payment to be. So I always say kind of reverse that with the lender. If I want to be at this payment, what price point should I be looking at? That's going to help us better focus on homes that are actually in the budget that you want to stay within.
Perfect. That's great. Info.
All right. Heading down here, we have the bathroom. This is a full-size bathroom up here. Side note for our agents, things that I would look for in here: leaks, ceiling, make sure that's in good condition. They have a vent, that's great. I'm always looking at the tub to see the condition that the tub is in. This is an insert, so it's all plastic. You're not having to worry about a lot of like grout issues and that type of thing. So Holly, this is the main bath on the upper level. It's a full bath.
Great.
It does have a walkthrough to the master bedroom. And then in here would be, and excuse me, I shouldn't have said master. That word is actually outdated. It's called the owner's suite.
Owner's suite. Perfect.
So, owner's suite in here with a walk-in closet. How do you feel about the size of this bedroom?
This is a nice sized bedroom.
Good sized bedroom?
Absolutely. And I love the walk-in closet. That helps with space a lot.
Perfect. All right. Carpet's in pretty good condition. You know, might use a shampooing, but I think that that's something a lot of people choose to do when they're moving into a house anyways.
Yeah.
And then you have the upper second bedroom. There's double closets in here. This would probably make for a perfect nursery for you.
Nursery, yeah, absolutely.
Right next to where your bedroom would be. They're obviously using it as an office right now.
Great.
So, all right. Head downstairs and see what the basement offers. All right. So the sellers have recently put new carpet down in the basement.
Nice. That's a plus.
You can see they're obviously in the middle of moving. They have some things around, but we have under the crawl space.
Oh, wow. Great storage.
Yeah, great storage down here. It looks pretty dry. That's some of the things that you're looking for in the basement.
Yeah.
Not a lot of signs of moisture. There's no smells or anything like that. So that's a great sign. Of course, if there was any concerns about previous water issues or anything like that, that would be something in the seller's disclosure. Are you familiar with what a seller's disclosure is?
Not really, no.
Okay, so the seller filled out a form. It's a 12-page questionnaire about the condition of the home since they have purchased it.
Okay.
If it is a home that you're interested in, I'll get you a copy of the disclosures. You can review it, and that's where the sellers, if the roof had recently been replaced because of storm damage, or if they had an issue with the basement getting water, anything like that, that's where we'd find information on that. Okay,
that's great.
Lower level living room. I like this one because it does kind of circle around. What do you feel about the size of this?
This is a great space. You could absolutely have a nice TV and a little playroom and all of that just in this space.
Right. I know that the sellers had like a nice bar set up over here too. So
nice.
Kind of a nice open space down here. This is just another little storage room.
Wow.
Yeah, this home is not lacking storage.
Right, I would say so.
And then in through here is the utility room and washer and dryer.
Okay.
So washer and dryer does stay.
Okay.
Utility room, things to look in here. I mean, I know right off the bat that this water heater is a little bit older. I just know that because it's a white one and the newer models are gray.
Yeah.
Age isn't always a concern.
Okay.
Sometimes actually older appliances tend to run longer than the newer appliances.
Oh, good to know.
The furnace, these can be tricky because they don't always have dates on them, but this is where an inspection is really important and comes into play for you as a buyer, especially a home buyer.
Okay.
Some things I like to note about the inspections. In the state of Minnesota, an inspector is not required to be licensed. It's absolutely crazy, but I could decide to become a home inspector tomorrow. Okay. So I tend to work with inspectors who are licensed at a national level, so they kind of went with outside of our state.
Okay.
So just the credentials of your inspector is really important. Again, I would have some great resources for you, but that's where we would rely on the inspector to help us with the condition of the furnace, water softener, washer, dryer, etc. It can be trickier in this market to get an offer accepted with an inspection. The market is so aggressive right now that many people are waiving the home inspection.
Okay.
It's not something I would recommend that you do because it's not in your best interest. But it is what buyers are having to do nowadays to win in multiple offer situations.
Okay.
Something to help you out as a first-time home buyer is something called a home warranty. That's something that can be purchased either upfront at a whole cost between $600 and $1,000. And that's nice because it protects you on all the major mechanicals in the house: furnace, AC, washer, dryer, dishwasher. It doesn't cover things like roof and windows and siding, but those major expenses, if you have this home warranty and you have an issue, you usually pay like $100 deductible and they'll come out and fix whatever's wrong. That can
Okay.
be very beneficial for you. If you're on a
Absolutely.
tight budget and the furnace goes out first winter, you're paying $100 deductible versus the replacement of a whole system or the cost of whatever the repair is.
Great.
You can also a lot of times get those within your energy company.
Yeah.
And so instead of paying the full amount up front, you can pay like a monthly fee.
Great.
And that's included in your package with them.
Okay.
This opens up into a walk-in closet that leads into the next bedroom. That's a little, I mean, it could be a little bit awkward. I'd probably personally keep that door shut
Yeah.
and just leave this as a bedroom, but it makes for a nice sized closet in here. And then this is the third bedroom downstairs.
Very nice size bedroom.
Yeah. Yep.
Great.
That'd be great. All right. So, how long have you been looking? Like, when did you guys start this whole process?
So as you know, we got connected through Zillow, and so we've been doing a lot of looking on Zillow. Mm-hmm. We've kind of just been looking for online maybe like the last few weeks. And
Okay.
our lease is up in August.
Okay.
So we thought we needed to kind of start exploring, and we know how crazy the market is. So
Definitely.
just some education.
A couple things about Zillow. Zillow is a great tool for the consumer, right? Because
Yeah.
you kind of have everything at your fingertips. What we a lot of times find though is Zillow is a little bit behind on their information. So you'll notice that you could go to click on a property and you could contact me and say, hey, I'd like to see this property. And I'll tell you, well, that sold 5 days ago.
Okay.
So what I like to do with clients that I'm working with is set you up on a search through my own MLS.
Okay.
And that's going to email you properties that are, when they're come available, it's immediately available. You get an email and then we connect to set up a time for a showing to get in as soon as possible.
Great.
In the state of Minnesota as well, there's something called agency.
Yeah.
There's a document for this that I'm going to email over to you for you to review.
Okay.
It's not a legal contract. It's just a disclosure required by the state of Minnesota that requires me to educate you on the different types of agency relationships in a real estate transaction.
Okay.
So you have the buyer's agent, that would be me acting on your behalf as your buyer's agent, representing you and what's in your best interest. Then you have the seller's agent, which represents the seller and what's in their best interest. Then you have something called dual agency. Dual agency doesn't necessarily mean me myself represents both buyer and seller. It means anybody, I'm with EXP, anybody under the EXP umbrella, we represent both the buyer and seller. And what that basically means is we cannot negotiate to the benefit or detriment of either party. So if you were looking at another property that was listed by an EXP agent, we as agents have to more remain neutral because we can't put either one of you ahead of the other,
Okay.
right? Another thing is called a facilitator agreement. It really wouldn't be applicable in your situation,
Yeah.
but the best way I can explain this, and it's a true story, is my neighbor was renting for several years, but
Okay.
he is an auto mechanic, and the owner of that home was a police officer,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to be a landlord anymore, and my neighbor didn't want to rent anymore, so they came to terms on how they wanted to purchase the house, the price, all of that, and they just came to me, and for a fee, I facilitated the transaction, but didn't provide any representation to them.
Okay.
How that could work for you is maybe your great aunt Idna decided she wanted to sell a house, but
Yep.
neither of you really know what you're doing. I could step in and help you there.
Great. Okay.
Then my fiduciary duties to you as an agent is confidentiality, disclosure, reasonable care, and accounting. They're kind of all exactly what they sound like.
Okay.
They're pretty self-explanatory, but when I email you over the form later, you'll see them all listed out in the explanation. And then finally at the bottom of that form is about predatory offender information.
Okay.
I can't give you predatory offender information in the areas that you're looking in or criminal stats or anything like that.
Okay.
But there is a website that you can visit for that information.
Great.
So I know that was a quick overview of that form, but I'm going to email that over to you later, and I will need a signature on that. It's required of me from the Department of Commerce.
Great.
And then as we move along farther into this, if you choose that we're a good fit and you would like to use me going forward, I would have some documents called the Buyer Representation Agreement. That's basically you committing to work with me and me committing to work with you.
Great.
Okay? Any
Perfect.
questions?
No questions on that.
All right, sounds
you.
good.